Oh no! No!
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in,
No, 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 no!
but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati
This is gonna happen, isn't it? This is gonna happen. Oh, it's gonna happen.
have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
I'm sorry, guys. It's time to go at call for an uprising. Hey guys, once again want to thank all of my patrons for their support, and I'm trying to get all of my videos on the Patreon first, and I'm also trying to get back to doing special Patreon content. Working with some people, gonna make Patreon better. If you'd like to become a patron, link is in the description below. What is up, you heathens and demons, you beautiful, blasphemous people, sinners and saints? Welcome back to A Raging Atheist. I'm your boy Nakasuchi, and today it's finally time to go at a call for an uprising. Now, I first heard about this dude when I started watching the Geek Room, and they were talking about him. I saw how my friend AR went at him. And I've been thinking about doing this, but I was like, you know what? No, that's what the Geek Room does. But then I was like, you know what? Fuck that. This is like the perfect dude for me to go at. This is who I go at. These type of Christians, these type of religious folk, these type of human beings, if you can call them that. I'm not sure if this is a human being or a human being pretending to be a different type of human being, as atrocious as he can be just to get views. I'm not sold, but we'll check it out. He's going to talk about witches.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I want to show you the repetition once again being used on people in regards to witches. There's trigger words such as witch trial, right? We all hear that, or witch hunt.
I mean, I don't really think witch trial is a trigger word. It's a word we use to describe witch trials. Now, witch hunt could be a trigger word. That's a word used to describe bullshit. That's a word used by Trump to describe his attackers who are attacking him for the right things, and he doesn't like it, so he calls it a witch hunt. But I don't know. I kind of have a feeling that a call for an uprising, he's going to maybe suggest that we should burn witches again. I don't know. I just have this creepy feeling.
Right? Donald Trump, oh, the witch hunt. There's a witch hunt on. People roll their eyes. They've been programming people for a long, long time into believing that not only, witches and this stuff isn't real, although now I guess people are becoming more aware because the witches are coming out. They're admitting they're witches, right?
Oh, I get it. He's saying that society has softened us to witches. Society has made us kind of think that witches are myths, so we're more accepting. Oh yeah, and society's more secular, society's more humanist. People have freedom to be themselves now, and so they're coming out. They're coming out of the woodwork, and witches are fucking everywhere. All you gotta do is look at society, right? I mean, right? That's what he's saying.
We have actresses and musicians admitting to be witches, right? But what they've done through a lot of it, through cartoons, through Disney, through all these television shows, through comedy, is they've deflected on what happens or what has happened in the past regarding witches and witch trials.
I don't really think Disney and all these cartoons have reflected too much on historical witch trials. I think that they have concentrated on witches, but I think it's also a very good thing that if people are concentrating on witch trials, that we do so we learn from our past. You see, that's the difference between progressives that want to go into the future and conservatives that want to stay in the past. Atheists that want to go into the future, non-religious folks that want to go into the future, or even more progressive liberal theist folks that want to go into the future, and fundamentals that want to stay in the past. That's the difference. We should learn from our past mistakes. Those witch trials were real. Those witch trials were atrocious. Those witch trials were orchestrated by your religion. Almost every single one of them. And you can't escape it, so you try to dismiss it.
Right? This is programming they've placed in all of these TV shows, right? And they deflect. They deflect by using comedy and humor and making it seem like, oh man, all these poor people were hung and they were burned for practicing witchcraft. This is what they want to do to program people into thinking that Christians are crazy, people like me are insane and believing in this stuff.
History undeniably shows that the vast majority of women, mainly, but the vast majority of people burned in these witch trials were not witches. Now, some of them did identify as witches, probably. Most of them did not. Most of them had a grudge with somebody, so they were accused. A lot of times it was a man that wanted a woman, she didn't want him back, so she would be accused of being a witch. Shit like that. This is known history. This is documented. Christians don't like it because the history of their religion is filled with blood. And they also don't like it because deep down they want to still be doing that. Deep down, he's telling you that he believes in these witches, that he believes that these witches are out there, they're working for the devil, they're trying to do harm to society, and that essentially what Christians did back then was right.
And that were, they didn't do anything, right? You think Christians were just going around pointing at women and just going, that's a witch, let's kill her for no reason? The reason that all of that stuff was going on is the same reason, with the things that we see today. Witches were targeting children.
Yes, literally, Christians back then were going around pointing fingers at people, calling them witches. That is literally something that happened in history. And no, they weren't targeting children. Those were the rumors, but there were also rumors that the witches were bringing the rains and the storms and destroying the crops, and we just know that that wasn't happening. Now, I personally don't believe in the supernatural. I've never seen any evidence that would lead me to conclude that the supernatural exists. But I also am not an atheist that's going to sit here and tell you, oh, the supernatural doesn't exist. Because I just don't know. I don't think that there's evidence either way. But one thing that we do know, that Christians were back then killed a shit ton of people for no other reason than because they could. And this is where he's really saying that they should be doing it today. He's saying literally that witches are today targeting your children. And he's basically endorsing that we should be having witch trials again. We should be calling them for what they really are, which are horrible demon worshippers that have gotten these supernatural powers from the devil and are targeting your children or your spouse. And I mean, this puts a call for an uprising right up there with Matt Powell, right? Matt Powell calls for the genocide of all gay people. Right now, a call for an uprising is pretty much saying, hey, let's go back to where we can just point a finger at a woman if we don't like her, call her a witch, and have a good old time eating popcorn as we watch her burn to death.
Okay, the same crap we see with Satanism, okay? But now, of course, everyone believes witchcraft and witches are just about, growing things in their garden. And I'm not saying that there aren't witches at that level who just believe in, doing little potions and having rocks in their home. It's still witchcraft. But they don't realize that all this stuff and all this programming has been to deflect and make witches look like victims.
Well, I mean, witches were victims. Witches were victims of your religion, as well as every other form of religion in the history of the world that has come in contact with Christianity. Christianity is not designed in a way to coexist with other religions. Christianity promotes that other religions are false gods and should be put down by the sword. Period. I mean, literally, that's what Christianity promotes. And the hundreds of thousands of people that were burned, that were killed as a result of witch trials, as a result of Christians accusing them of witchcraft, a crime that I don't think is possible to actually be able to do, because I don't believe in the supernatural. Again, I'm not saying there isn't a supernatural. I'm just saying I haven't seen evidence to believe in a supernatural, and I definitely haven't seen evidence to believe that magic is real. But he's not even talking about those types of witches. He's talking about the new hippie type of witch that likes the stones, likes the crystals, that likes to burn incense and meditate and grow a garden with some herbs and make some, natural health remedies. He's talking about those women too, because they're so fucking evil. They must be possessed by the devil, or they be worshiping the holes in Jesus' hands like the rest of the sycophants.
Now, what does that sound like? Witches looking like victims. Well, I can recall there's a certain people who love bagels who happen to always use the same tactic. Always play the victim card, right? And programming everyone into, oh, those poor people. Oh, can't question them. Can't say anything about them. Oh, they've been attacked for so long. Same with the witches. That's what they're doing.
All right, I'm going to be honest. I'm not quite sure who Call for an Uprising is talking about here. It's been a really long time since I've been racist, so I'm not up on the current racist lingo. But I'm fairly certain this motherfucker's being racist. Like, is he talking about Jews? Like, who are these particular people that like bagels? Please let me know in the comment section below. I'm really lost, and I'd really like to know who Call for an Uprising is getting racist against, if you can help me out.
Right? Oh, the witches were cast out. Oh, then we see show after show after show making the witches the good guy character, right? Reverse mind control, inverting everything.
I mean, that would be a more accurate depiction. Like, let's say that witches do exist. I know that you as a Christian thinks that if witches do exist, then they're all the wives of Satan, that they've all gotten their powers from Satan. But let's just say that they do exist. Let's say that witches are out there and they do have these supernatural powers. And maybe some are Satanists, maybe others are polytheists, and maybe others are Wiccan, and there are a lot of these people out there. Reason would dictate that not all of them are evil. In fact, reason would dictate that the vast majority of them are good people, raised to be good people. I think most of us try to be good people. Even when we do bad things, we're still trying to be good people. Most of us inherently aren't evil. Most of us have rational justifications to do the things that we do. You would have to reasonably deduct that if witches are real, that most of them would be good people. And while I'm not sold on whether supernatural is real, guess what? Witches are real. I know quite a few of them.
100, 200 years ago, the witches were being, they're being killed. Now, they're being celebrated. Everybody wants to be one. They're selling it and targeting your kids with, magic wands and sorcery books from Harry Potter to Cinderella.
And there it is. There's that open endorsement of the good old days back when we could burn witches alive and enjoy it in the town square. Not the present days to where, Harry Potter is popular and people love using their imaginations. I mean, that imagination's bad for God, right? And this is why we must call out these sick individuals that use their religion for what I would say are evil means. He is literally promoting that we need to go back to the days of burning witches instead of promoting them, of burning witches instead of making Harry Potter movies, of burning witches instead of being compassionate human beings. And to that, a call for an uprising, I have to give you a big fuck you. I mean, these fucking Christians need to be called out. If you're gonna sit here and promote the murder and death of human beings, you should not be able to call yourself a good human being. Being a Christian does not make you a good human being. In fact, from what I see, being a Christian will go a long way towards making you a shitty human being. Not all Christians are shitty human beings, but most Christians have some really shitty things about themselves. And I would say, calling for witch trials to come back, calling for public executions, burnings of witches to come back, that makes you a shitty person. But I don't even really think that was up for debate, which is why it's going to be so fun to respond to you. As always, I'm your boy Nakasuchi. This is A Raging Atheist. If you like my videos, hit the thumbs up. Hit that bell so you can be notified every time I make a new video. Comment in the comment section below. Share me on your social media. Help me grow this channel. And as always, I'll see you soon.